welcome to News Plus on Viewer Television. My name is Patient Sidi. Socioeconomic Rights and Accountability Project, SERAB, has filed a lawsuit against the Central Bank of Nigeria CBN over the failure to delete patently unlawful provisions in the Central Bank of Nigeria regulations directing banks to obtain information on customer social media handles for the purpose of identification. The CBN had last month issued a circular mandating banks and other financial institutions to implement and comply with the mandatory provisions on customer social media handles in the CBN regulations. In the suit filed at the Federal High Court in Lagos, SERAB is seeking an order of mandamus to direct and compel the Central Bank of Nigeria to withdraw its directive dated 20 June 2023 to banks and other financial institutions to obtain information from customers' social media handles. In the suit, SERAB is arguing that the mandatory requirements of social media handles or addresses of customers does not serve any legitimate aim. Such information may be used to unjustifiably or arbitrarily restrict the right to freedom of expression and privacy. An NGO, Ladi Memorial Foundation (LMF), has donated over 1,000 garments to internet displaced persons at Jeremy, Abuja in commemoration of 2023 World Youth Skills Day. The executive director of the LMF, Rosemary Osikoya, said the garments were made by youth between age 12 to 18 from the just concluded incentivized pilot sewing schools championship 2023 in the Federal Capital Territory. Isokoya said the SSCP 23 had a participation of over 1,000 youth across the 6 area council in the FCT, where 3 schools and some individuals winners received over 50 sewing machines, including industrial manual and special purpose sewing equipment. She added that the SSCP-23 was initiated by the LMF, supported by UNESCO, FCT Education Secretariat, and other relevant partners. The National Association of Nigerian Student NANS has called on President Bola Tinubu to be, as a matter of urgency, prevail on the management of various federal universities in the country to jettison their plans to increase school fees and levies being paid by the students. The student body warned that should this call be ignored and schools hike their fees and want to enforce implementation, the student will embark on nationwide protests and remain on the street till the demand is met. NAS made this call in a statement made available by the Public Relations Officer Giwa Temitope. According to NAS, the increment of school fees by the universities of Lagos, Unilag, Akoka, as announced on Friday, and the planned increment by other federal universities across the country and even for the federal government colleges have shown that the current administration is insensitive to the plight of most Nigerians who are going through difficult times. The House of Representatives Ad Hoc Committee on International Boundary Dispute between Nigeria and Cameroon is considering a fresh application to apply the International Court of Justice judgment that ceded Bakassi to Cameroon. The consideration during a public hearing by the committee to determine areas that belongs to either country with Nigeria not ready to cede any of its territory to Cameroon or any other country it shares in border with. Now let's check the report.
The House Ad Hoc Committee are looking into the boundary disputes between Nigeria and Cameroon, as well as the representatives of the people of Danare and Beadjua communities in the Boki area of Cross River State, who stand the risk of losing about 7,000 to 10,000 of their ancestral land. Recall that Honorable Victor Abang in his motion argued that the non-location of Pillar 113A by the Technical Committee of the Cameroon-Nigeria Mixed Commission is the reason for this unfortunate situation. Chairman of the ad hoc committee, Benilar, says the House is concerned about the potential loss of a significant landmass and Nigerian citizens residing within it to Cameroon.
Based on the critical nature of this motion, which is considered as a matter of national urgent importance, the ad hoc committee embarked on a preliminary gathering of intelligence on the subject by seeking guidance and briefs from the ministries, departments, and agencies of government charged fully with the subject matter, and to which the committee has received wonderful memoranda from both the National Boundary Commission, Office of the Surveyor General, and other institutions that have responded. It is to this effect, and furthering from the submissions of these institutions, that we have convened an interactive session and briefing.
However, the Director General of the National Boundary Commission advised that the country should comply with the provisions of the ICJ judgment, a position that federal lawmakers were not pleased with. The lawmakers seem to believe that the National Boundary Commission is not interested in protecting the interests of the country, as the representatives of the Boki community pleaded for quick action from the federal government to save his people.
It's not a question of adjustment of the boundary. It's not a question of Nigeria ceding any territory. It is the boundary that is properly now identified and brought out and made visible. In so doing, some affected farmlands and part of Danare that had expanded beyond what it used to be will be affected.
At the Kano State Governorship Election, Petition Tribunal took a fresh dimension as Kano State Governor Abba Yusuf closed his case with a single witness against the early number of witnesses listed. Recall that the second and third respondents, the governor and the New Nigerian People's Party NNPP, listed 450 witnesses before the tribunal to defend their victory against the petitioner, the All Progressive Congress APC. The petitioner, in challenging the first respondent, the Independent National Electoral Commission INEC, for declaring Yusuf as the winner of the March 18, 2023 governorship poll in the state. The APC is asking the tribunal to overturn the victory of Yusuf because he was not a duly registered member of the NNPP, as his name was not in the NNPP membership registered submitted to INEC before the election. At the resumption of tribunal, Yusuf witness, who is the secretary to state government, Dr. Abdullahi Baffa Bichi, claimed that the governor is a bona fide member of the party. It is time for a break on News Plus, and when we come back, we have more news, so stay tuned.
In this 21st century, where all the information we need is now in the palm of our hands. News from around the world, entertainment, celebrity gossip, sports, and much more. The only thing that you need is the right source. Viewer TV is now on the go. Simply check us out on our social media pages on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter for all the information you need.
Good morning, gentlemen. I'm at the Envoy Hotel, Diplomatic Drive 305, here for a business weekend. It's been an amazing stay. conference hall and business facilities here are stylish and innovative. The Envoy Hotel is luxury, esoteric, opulence, for ultimate comfort.
Discerning travelers, we are more than just a place to stay. We are an icon of comfort, style, and thoughtful luxury. We are Envoy Hotel.
Welcome back from the break. If you're just joining, this is News Plus on Vira Television. Now, a total of 836 cases have been confirmed and 80 deaths from diphtheria between May and June 2023, according to Diphtheria Situation Report released by the Nigeria Center for Disease Control. NCDC, the confirmed cases were regarded across 33 local government areas in 7 states and the Federal Capital Territory FCT within the period under review. NCDC stated that a total of 2,455 suspected cases were reported from 24 states. It added that 71.5% of the confirmed cases occurred among children aged 2 to 14 years. Despite diphtheria being a vaccine-preventable disease, NCDC noted that only 181 out of 836 confirmed cases were fully vaccinated with a diphtheria toxin-containing vaccine. According to the situation report, Kano State accounted for 819 confirmed cases out of the total 836 cases. Troops of Nigerian Army and Department of State Service DSS have destroyed an enclave of the prescribed indigenous people of Biafra Eastern Security Network in Asaba Delta. The Director of Army Public Relations Brigadier General Onyema Nwachukwu in a statement said the raid was conducted by troops of 63 Brigade Garrison on the 6th Division and operative of DSS in a clearance operation. Nwachukwu said the operation was part of the sustained effort to rid Nigeria of criminality. He added that the troops conducted a raid operation on the forfeited enclave located in the middle of a forested high ground. According to him, the gallant troops overpowered the IPOB fighters in the exchange of that followed the encounter, compelling them to abandon their hideout in Desiree. The Nigerian Union of Journalists Rivers State Council has raised the alarm over the kidnap of its member and the Director of News Rivers State Broadcasting Corporation, Anthony Nwakocha. In a statement by the Chairman of Rivers State Council, Stanley Job Stanley, and Secretary Ike Wigodo, NUJ called on security agencies to ensure her immediate rescue. Findings have revealed that government suspected to be kidnappers alleged weeks Nwakocha away. It is in a statement the Rivers State NUJ described the abduction as inhuman, wicked, and insensitive, especially against a journalist working for the good of the society. The union also charged the security agency to ensure the arrest of Nwakocha's abductors and bring them to book to serve as a deterrent to other criminals in the state. Gunmen have killed a man identified as Ibrahim Abdullahi in Kankia local government area of Katsina State. The man, popularly called Sulu by locals, was killed. The spokesman of the Katsina State Police Command, ASP Abubakar Aliu, confirmed in Katsina. Aliu said the police command had commenced investigation into the killing, the latest in a state that had been racked by terrorist activities. A resident who spoke to newsmen on condition of anonymity said that the gunmen who came on motorcycles invaded the estate and shot Abdullahi point blank when he tried to question them. The terrorists were said to have fled after shooting Abdullahi and leaving him in a pool of his own blood. The newly elected president of the Sport Writers Association of Nigeria, Isaiah Benjamin, has vowed to hit the ground running upon a resumption of office. The SWAM president promised to commence a reconciliation process of aggrieved members, as his desire is to run a stronger and inclusive Sports Writers Association. Isaiah Benjamin made this known to newsmen after a tense atmosphere election in Omoku River State, where he beat his opponent Sadiq Moyoyo by 16 votes to 6 in a keenly contested sports writers election.
All the federations will pay them cost services. We will discuss with them immediately on how. This is because most federations, it's not only football. All right, most people think it's only football that is sport. No, it's only football. For every journey, every of the sporting federations are going. We want to ensure that we have 1 or 2 of our members accompanying them, so that if you don't report yourself, nobody will report you. That's the point. So we want to be up and doing when we come on board, if God gives us the opportunity, so that I think we will have a better one. We already have a very solid foundation building. We are trusting God to build on it and break new grounds. God helping us.
Over 8,000 rural dwellers in Adamawa State have received free medical treatment and surgeries for various illnesses at the just concluded medical outreach in Ganye local government. Those treated at the 4-day free exercise are believed to be the less privileged from different rural communities who cannot afford basic medical care. Percy Deban completes the report.
Thousands of rural dwellers marched to the Ganye General Hospital to access free medical care. This is the first project that Senator Binas is embarking upon since returning as a senator representing Adamawa South. Most of those attended to are women and elderly who could not afford to pay for medical care and surgeries. This is coming as a relief to many who accessed eye surgery and tooth care, among many other daring illnesses. The traditional ruler of Ganye chiefdom, Umaru Sanda, witnessed the exercise. He commends the lawmaker for having the masses at heart.
Impressed, and I think on behalf of the people of this chiefdom particularly, and Ganye town in particular, we appreciate what the senator, the distinguished senator, has done to the people by alleviating all their health problems.
One of the medical doctors who performed the exercise said they have exceeded their target because of the large number of patients who turn out for the exercise.
So far, we have exceeded our target with about 80 patients, because we have treated 8,080 patients. And if you want me to give you the breakdown, I would say that in my own area, we have dispensed about 700 reading glasses. We have extracted about 260 cataracts.
The chairman of Ganye local government, who spoke on behalf of the beneficiaries of the medical outreach, appreciated the lawmaker while calling on other politicians to emulate him.
He left a legacy very seriously. Those that we came after him, I don't know, maybe they'll go and do what he did now. We appreciate what the distinguished senator did to our people. We appreciate it. It's better than giving people money, giving people food. What I saw here is impressed. Really is very impressed.
Senator Binas has, since his first stint at the National Assembly, organized a series of medical outreach across the 9 local governments of his senatorial zone, where thousands of his constituents were given free medical treatment. Percy Labang, Viva TV News, Yola.
And now on the international scene, Spanish voters go to polls in a general election that could make Spain the latest European Union member to swing to the right. Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez called the early election after his Spanish Socialite Workers' Party and its far-left partner, Unidas Podemos, took a beating in local and regional elections in May. Sanchez has been premier since 2018. Most opinion polls for Sunday's voting have put the ring-wing Popular Party, which won the May vote, ahead of Socialites, but likely needed the support of the extreme right Vox Party if they want to form a government. Opposing them are the Socialites or Socialists, and a new movement called Sumar that brings together 15 small list or left list party for the first time ever. Russian President Vladimir Putin said Ukraine's counter-offensive has failed as he hosted Belarusian leader Alexander Lukashenko, his close ally, for talks in St. Petersburg. Ukraine began its long-anticipated counter-offensive last month, but has so far made only small gains against well-entrenched Russian forces, who control more than a sixth of its territory after nearly 17 months of war. U.S. General Mark Milley, chair of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, said the Ukrainian drive was far from a failure but will be long, hard, and bloody. The Belarusian defense minister said Wagner fighters and starter to train Belarusian special forces at a military range just a few miles from the Polish border. North Korea fired several cruise missiles towards the sea to the west of the Korean peninsula. The West or the South Korean military said these will be North Korea's latest missile launch since it fired 2 ballistic missiles on Wednesday, as Pyongyang and Washington set up a display of military force in a standoff over the isolated country's nuclear weapons and missile programs. A number of cruise missiles launched since Saturday were detected, South Korea's Joint Chiefs of Staff said. North Korea fired missile hours after a U.S. nuclear ballistic missile submarine surfaced for a rare visit to South Korea. North Korea also warned that deployment of U.S. aircraft carriers, bombers of missile submarines in South Korea could meet criteria for its use of nuclear weapons. At least 2,000 residents and holidaymakers were evacuated by sea in the fire-stricken areas of Rhode Island in Greece authority. They said a massive wildfire on roads has raged since Tuesday afternoon, burning down a dense forest, although firefighters had managed to put on several fire flare-ups on the island over the last few days. The strong winds and extreme temperatures rekindled the fires on the island's central eastern side. Emergency alert messages were sent to residents to evacuate 4 seaside villages at the beaches in both Kaitari and Lado. Coast Guard vessels assisted by ferries and private boats transfer people to safe zones. 1,000 more people were evacuated overland to other parts of the island. And that's how much we can take on News Plus. My name is Patience CD. Many thanks for watching. Please stay tuned and enjoy the rest of our programs.